Good morning. I'd like to take a few minutes of your time today to talk about building a better workforce. As you're all working on your own individual development today through the HR Summit, I think it's really important for us to think about our workforce as well and how do we build them into great leaders, great employees, and just great people. I'd like to introduce myself first. My name is Debbie Robbins. I am the Chief Operating Officer for Peregrine Global Services. I am a certified senior professional in human resources, have been for a number of years. I spent the first 27 years of my career in human resources and the last 10 helping to build this leadership development company into an educational company. But let's jump right into what I want to talk about today. And this is the challenge of building our workforce into great people, great employees, great leaders. And the challenge really comes down to soft skills. We often hire people for the skills and abilities that they have and how their previous experiences help them be able to meet our needs today. But soft skills are so important. And over the last 10 years, there have been countless studies and research reports, media outlets have highlighted the significant skills gap that is found in our workforce. And workplace skills are often referred to as soft skills, but these are the interpersonal qualities necessary for situational awareness and workplace effectiveness. They include adaptability, communications, creative thinking, those types of skills. And many of us really struggle with how to develop those skills and how to measure those skills. And those are the two things I want to briefly talk about today. The first thing is to recognize that workplace skills are a problem. In 2016, an employer survey said that 92% of executives considered soft skills as equally important as technical skills. And we have a hard time measuring those soft skills to know if our new employees actually have them or not. In 2018, a LinkedIn survey said that 60% of HR managers, those are you in the room, stated that the lack of soft skills limits the leadership, and that hinders company productivity as well. And then an MIT study in 2018 said that soft skills training in Bangalore, India, they did some research and some study, and they trained people in soft skills and found that the measurement in productivity increased 250% based on that study. It's a pretty significant increase. Then last year, at the end of last year, Society of Human Resource Management Group did a 4-part series on soft skills and how our educational system is not building the soft skills that we need in the workplace. And they said the top skills missing were problem solving, communication, critical thinking, innovation, creativity, and the ability to deal with complexity and ambiguity. Pretty big skills missing in the workplace. Fortune 500 CEOs say 75% of long-term success depends on people skills, while only 25% depends on technical skills. I worked for an engineer at one point. He said when he came out of engineering school and started in the workplace, 90% of what he needed to know were the technical skills and 10% were the people skills. Makes sense for a lot of engineers, right? When he was getting ready to retire, I asked him what had changed in the course of his life. And he said, I only need 10% of that technical knowledge today, and I need 90% of people skills. My leadership skills are what has really helped me grow and develop others in the workplace as well. So what soft skills are needed? A Cambridge Market Intelligence research study that was done this year said leadership, management, and communication are the top skills that we are missing in the workplace that we need to develop as organizations. So how do we do that? How do we develop soft skills in the organization? Well, a couple of ways to do that are experiential learning and active learning, where we're actually teaching someone theory and then giving them an opportunity to practice it and figure it out on their own, because most of us as adults learn best by doing. We can do that through internships, through job sharing, through cross-training, through just giving people business experiences to be able to take that idea, that theory that they've learned and put it into action. whether it's leading a project or taking on a new process or something like that in the workplace. Those business experiences are key to helping build those soft skills, because in order to get things accomplished, we have to build those relationships. And that's what soft skills is about, is really managing our emotional intelligence and those relationships. We can also do that, we found, through case studies or simulation exercises. And most often we do it through coaching and mentoring. And that's kind of the long way around. It takes a long time to coach and mentor people through building some of those soft skills. And so we can use case studies and business experiences and simulations to shorten that learning time where people really can figure out what they need to know. A little bit about Paragon Global Services. You're wondering, why am I talking about this? Well, we started as a leadership company about 16 years ago, and then about 10 years ago moved into the academics world. We really have, our mission is to be a catalyst for change. We really believe that we can contribute to higher education and improving the quality of higher education. And we believe we can build values-based leaders that will take our organizations into the future and building them beyond where we are today. We do that by leveraging the diversity of talented people in our organization across a broad spectrum of disciplines, backgrounds, experiences, cultures. Together with you, we really do believe we can change the world. A couple of things that are important for you to know in how we do business is we engage with you. We find those solutions together. We have canned programs if that's what you want, but I think most people want something specifically to meet their organizational needs. We have a diversity of backgrounds and knowledges in our organization, so we can draw upon those to truly give you an experiential learning process that meets your needs. And relevant, we've got a lot of practical solutions that we've got to find today with our environment changing and the culture in which we're all working. We need solutions that are relevant for today, not what worked a few years ago. So at Paragon Global Services, we've spent the last 8 months really building our competency-based learning modules that can be used in business and industry or in the academic world either. So they can help fulfill some academic needs, but in reality, we built them to help you in business and industry develop soft skills and help your people get to where they have the knowledge and the competencies they need to be successful in their job. So what does this look like? Well, you know, our thought is that no team or business unit is successful without effective leadership. And so building those leadership skills, whether you're in a job that's titled leadership or not, doesn't matter. Effective leadership is always the primary driver for growth, innovation, and development in our organization. And leaders are inspiring to others. So whether I'm an informal leader, a teammate, if I can be inspiring to my team, if I can be helpful to them and growing them, then the organization benefits from that. How we did that is we developed what we call our Leading Edge Learning Series. This is a collection of online modules that can be mixed and matched to support the development of 8 competencies that are needed in the workplace. So the National Association of Colleges and Educators, or Colleges and Employers, excuse me, have what they've developed, these career readiness competencies. And we have created our Leading Edge Learning modules around these competencies. So if you have someone you need to develop some critical thinking, we've got modules for you. If you need to develop leadership, we've got modules for you. If you just need to develop some professionalism and some work ethic, we've got that. Oral communications, teamwork, collaboration, digital technology, career management, global intercultural fluencies. We have modules in each of those areas to help you grow your employees in whatever their needs are individually or collectively, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So here's an example of some of the things that we've created. You know, we have a business ethics course that takes about 3 to 5 hours to complete. Leadership, delegation, performance management. We've got some decision making. We've got leadership styles, leading change, leading teams, managing conflict, just supervision as a whole. So we've got a broad variety of modules that should help you be able to build the competencies of people in your organization which then allows your organization to grow as a whole. These are interactive learning modules, all done online. They consist of a combination of video, audio, text, activities, quizzes that really promote an individual's learning. How are they best used? There's a couple of ways. We have a number of clients who use these as professional development opportunities for some of their high potential in trying to specifically grow them in areas that they need for their next job. Online supervisor training. This can be modules that fill gaps in your already existing training process, or they can be teaching theory online, and now you spend the time in person applying that theory and really making it come to life for the employee to understand how to apply that theory. Individual development programs, we can use modules, mix and match modules, as well as do some maybe in-person training if necessary, or coaching and mentoring. And then we also have an executive education program if you're trying to help someone develop into that executive level, that strategic thinking mindset for their next job. So for instance, we have a Leadership Foundations course that covers a variety of foundational things like communication, giving and receiving feedback, active listening, values and attributes of leaders. Here are the learning outcomes that people would walk away from this module with. They would be able to identify modules or values and attributes of their leadership. They would be able to understand their skills as a leader, how to maintain ethical standards, how to lead change, how to grow others. So this just gives you a sense of the learning outcomes. There are a couple of modules that I really wanted to focus on. One is our supervision module, because to be a good supervisor means you have to be a good leader. And it's about your team, not about your individual contribution anymore, but your contribution to the team and creating the team success. And so our supervision module is action-packed with hands-on efforts that help them deal with the hard choices, the ethical dilemmas, the people issues that they have. We also have a leading organizations module that really helps people move from that operational leadership to that strategic leadership, transforming them into a senior leader, teaching them how to think strategically, how to think long-term, how to look at the multiple perspectives. So very helpful in growing the next generation of leaders for you. One of the things we have in the executive leadership is we have a simulation. It's called One Day. It is a multiple episode interactive learning experience. It's hard to say really fast. It's a simulation. We call it North-South Airlines is the industry, and you are Emma, a young new employee at North-South Airlines, and you have a question that your CEO has asked you, and you go through the day interacting with people and asking questions, and it really teaches you business strategy, and it also teaches you how to interact with people, what kinds of questions you should be asking, and those types of things. So this module is really great in helping to teach moving someone from organizational leadership to that strategic leadership so that they can make a senior leader level in their next position. So briefly, just before I finish, I want to talk about how do we assess? Assessing soft skills is so hard because there's no standardization. They're hard to identify. They're one-dimensional. The term soft skill is misleading. There's so much subjectivity and bias in this. So we've created a 360 evaluation program that we've put online that directly measures the proficiency level of many competencies needed in our workplace today. It uses, the 360 idea, peers, subordinates, people above in the organization to actually measure you on observed behaviors that tell you in certain areas of competency how you're doing. And we find it to be a much more accurate way to assess someone's soft skills than many other 360 programs. It's a flexible, customizable instrument, and our team can help you devise an instrument for you, or you can devise it yourself. We have over 200 skills and competencies and rubrics accordingly. And what that means, that rubrics, is that let's say we want to look at, adaptability. We're going to measure adaptability. Well, what does adaptability mean? We can define it, but we've also been able to start telling you what is a behavior within adaptability, and how can someone objectively measure that. We equate instruments to, think of a pizza. When you go to order a pizza, you decide what kind of crust do I want, what kind of sauce do I want, what do I want on it, based on your desire that day. Well, the instrument for a 360 can be just as easily customized for you. What are your organizational goals? What are your values that you want to ensure your people have? What's the positional needs or the departmental needs that you want to measure for success? And we can create your pieces, so to speak, your instrument to help you measure the right things for your organization very quickly. Because we have this rubrics, it takes the subjectivity out of it, or helps to minimize the subjectivity of it. And you really get a good objective view of what this behavior, what this competency looks like. At the end, the great thing is the participant gets some great reports, as do you. The reports in this example, the vertical lines show the average score for that person. And this is the first time they took it and the second time they took it. And you can see very quickly where they're above average and where they're below average. Where are their strengths, where are their weaknesses. And in those reporting capabilities, it's very important for us to compare the participant score against the average evaluator score to see, are there blind spots? Maybe I think I'm doing really well, but the evaluators say I'm not. Or are there areas where I don't realize that I have strengths, where the evaluator scored me really high and I scored myself really low? Those are very important things when we're developing an individual action plan for people. On this participant report, again, this is just one person. You can see average scores against a variety of competencies. Helps you to be able to develop that action plan on how to develop this employee very quickly and very easily. And the nice thing is if you do it over an organization or a department or something, you'll be able to see where your group scores are high and low as well. The participant very quickly can see my self-score on this emotional intelligence competency. I rated myself a 4.0. The evaluators rated me a 3.8. The group average of who was in my group that was evaluated as well as me. If you want to do groups, department or all your supervisors, all your middle managers, that kind of thing, group average was 4.15. Then I can also see the distribution of those ratings. And so I can see that most people scored me at a 4.0. So most people believe that I'm very proficient and excellent in this area. So these are the types of information you get, which then allows you to develop an action plan for the participant and an action plan for the organization if necessary. You might see, we did all our supervisors, surveyed all our supervisors, and we found that they were all low in communications. Well, now we can develop some communication activities and events for them to build those levels of competency. So you get a variety of group reports that can help you be able to identify what's going on in your organization. What type of training and development do you need to implement, or where you have people who are really good that they can coach some of those people who aren't quite as good. So in conclusion, just want to talk about our value skills is that 360 online, very easy to use, very quick to implement, and it really is efficient at measuring soft skills. We've been doing 360 assessments for over 10 years, and we really have honed this in to be able to give you great data, to be able to help you develop the soft skills in the individuals in your organization. If you're interested in learning more about our leading edge learning competency modules or a value skills, please shoot us an email or give us a call. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I'd be happy to set you up at one of our tutorials or show you in your organization how they work. So please give us a call, info@peregrineglobal.com, or call us at the number here. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. Thank you very much.